Hi everyone, I'm Nill and I'm here this time to review a thoughtful movie with you guys, Detachment. This 2011 movie by Tony Kaye represents a story about Henry Barth, a career substitute teacher whose latest stop has brought him to a high school with apathetic and disengaged student bodies and a bitter corps of teachers and administrators. Although he's depressed, living alone with his senile grandfather, Bart decided to make many differences in the lives of his pupils. Haven't you watched the movie yet? And do you want me to spoil the movie for you? Okay then, that's the structure. Save this video for later and of course subscribe our channel to not lose it and of course watch it later. This is not the movie with beautiful scenes and events. It's gonna show social concern with abomination and that make you feel the movie better. If it was a Hollywood traditional movie, it will show you Barth can succeed making those differences in his students' lives and viewers get rewarded with a predictable feel-good ending which he gets to meet his true love, get his life together and his students finding their own paths and blah blah blah. But none of this happens. Yes, some of the students seem to develop a appreciation and respect about his efforts by the end of the movie, but there is no sign that he has lasting and real impact of their lives. Even worse, the one student he seems to have an impression on and make a connection with commits suicide because of classroom bullying and constant parental criticism about her appearance and artworks. Meanwhile, despite a promising first date with the fellow teacher, Miss Madison, tried a Hollywood love story between them never materialized, and any of hope of it happening vanishes for good actually when she walks in on Barth consoling the suicidal student and she accuses him of misconduct. Outside the school environment, Barth's life isn't any happier. He encountered a teenage prostitute, Erica, on a bus one day, runs into her the next day, and eventually brings her home because she had to have a safe place to stay. Though she developed romantic feelings and a strong attachment, the feelings wasn't actually mutual. And ultimately he has a child protective services to take her away. While all of this is happening, Bart's also forced to confront the strange relationship with his dying grandfather, who it is hinted may sexually abuse Bart's mother as a child. You know, this issue never resolves and Bart never gets any sort of closure. Thus, rather than having just a typical and predictable Hollywood ending, when the main troubled character eventually salvation through helping others, and also he finds his true love along the way, Detachment ends with Bart in quite possibly a worse state than he was at the start of the movie. Although he traveled to the foster care facility where Erica has been taken, and it seems they have a happy reunion with each other, and little else is good in his life, and he assumed that he will soon be moving on in a school which they want a long-term substitute teacher. Let me say the performances in this movie are almost sharp and forceful. You know, the movie seems so excited about rubbing audiences' face into the misery, and you know, it comes to you like a company CEO without his pants on, and he's desperate of being seen or something. In the movie, Barth uses every school as a stage to actually show himself as a man he wants to be. A cool one, undamaged and detached, which is absolutely not, by the way. Deep-rooted emotional truths is displayed very well in Kaye's movies, and you can't miss them in Detachment 2, which offers a dreamlike evocation of the responsibilities facing teachers of a failing New York public school. This is a movie about people, a movie about humanity, and something about love beats death. And you know, this is the typical part of our lives. But you know, this is not very deep enough or very rounded enough to be more than that. Despite that, the movie is so honest, and you know, the darkness and the brutality of it make it more realistic and actually pure. The movie is highlighted by several strong performances, but it falls heavily on Adrien Brody's shoulders to bring Kaye's story into the real life. Detachment is the kind of movie that only makes sense when it catches you somewhere. You know, it's like you're suddenly having a feeling for one of those characters, and in this case, you don't have to experience or exactly feel about those things and those misery. And you know what I'm saying, of course. Then it's gonna glue you to your chair and make you feel very good about the movie. And of course, Adrien Brody makes you feel better even about it. Detachment looks great, but falls just short of being great. As strong as narrative is, Kaye and his screenwriter Carl Lund intersperse the story by talking head interviews that this is the teachers discussing about what is wrong with the system. And you know, this is an extremely cheap way of tackling the story theme, when of course the main story does that trick just fine. Still, Detachment is a moving and engaging movie, and of course I think it deserved more attention than thus far it received. Okay guys, thank you for watching my video, and please, if you have any suggestion and more ideas, comment me below. I will read your comments, and Support us by your subscriptions, and if you like, share us with your friends. Tell me what you want me to review next, and I'm gonna see you around. Goodbye!